Hello and welcome to Guangzhou, the capital of Guangdong province. It's a city that's steeped in history and tradition, and it's not unusual to see the ancient architecture next to the ultra-modern. Located on the Pearl River Delta in southern China, the city's skyline emphasizes that Guangzhou is now a busy, modern metropolis. Guangzhou has also become the final stop on the World Tour because we're here at the Tianhe Gymnasium for the last major badminton event of the year, the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. This prestigious event is the culmination of 26 World Tour events that have spanned the globe. We've been to America, Europe, Asia and Oceania. And the results from those World Tour events determined the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines. So it was just the best of the best that were invited to the end-of-year finale here in Guangzhou. Well, this week the players are playing for a magnificent trophy. This is it. It's made by Royal Selangor. The design of the pewter trophy is based on the famous Canton Tower here in Guangzhou. But it's not just the magnificent trophy that's at stake. There's also a total prize fund of $1.5 million, which equals the biggest purse ever at a BWF event. So we started with just 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines. Those 8 were drawn into 2 groups of 4. Everyone played everyone else in their group, and now, after 3 days of round-robin group play, those 8 players and pairs have been whittled down to just 4 in each discipline, because today is semi-finals day. 5 of the semi-finals were played in this afternoon session, and tonight we start with the second of the men's singles. Kento MOMOTA, the 2-time and reigning world champion, winner of this event 4 years ago, is looking to reach a 3rd final here. He's up against WANG Tzu Wei of Chinese Taipei. Then it's women's doubles, and Chen Xingcheng and Jia Yifan, the current world #1s and winners of this event 3 years ago, are up against Li So-hee and Shin Sung-chan, last year's beaten finalists. Then it's men's doubles, and Hiroyuki Endo and Yuta Watanabe, the Asian champions, winners of Group A and beaten finalists last year, are up against the world #1s, Gideon and Sukamolyo, the pair that won this title 2 years ago. After that, we will have women's doubles, and it's a repeat of the last 2 World Championship finals. Fukushima and Hirota, the 3-time World Championship silver medalists, are up against Matsumoto and Nagahara, the 2-time and reigning world champions. Then we finish with men's doubles. Mohamed Hassan and Hendra Setiawan, the reigning world champions and 2-time winners of this event, are up against Li Yang and Wang Qilin. With men's singles, our first semi-final this evening, a chance to look at how these 2 semi-finalists got through to the semi-final stage. Both came from Group A. Kento MOMOTA won all 3 of his matches, while the other 3 players in the group, Jonathan Christie, the Asian Games gold medalist, Anna Zanderson, the World Championship silver medalist, and WANG Tzu Wei, they each won 1 of their 3 matches. So it all had to come on countback, and that's how WANG Tzu Wei got through. The other group, well, it was the same matchup, obviously. And as in the group match, Anthony Ginting beat the reigning Olympic champion, and that was earlier today. The victory 21-15, 21-15 in 41 minutes. So Ginting already through to the final. So the #1 seed, Kento MOMOTA, his career win-loss record is impressive enough, but it translates into 34 tournament finals, having won 29 titles, 11 finals this year, 10 titles this year. WANG Tzu Wei, well, he's been in 11 career finals, and earlier this year he won his 3rd title. That was the Syed Modi, the very last of the World Tour events prior to these finals here in 2019. So Kento MOMOTA, well, he's been in great form and he's looking pretty relaxed at the moment, is the two-time world champion. Won the title here in 2015, beating Victor Axelsen in the final. He's had a great tournament so far. As I was saying, he's won all of his matches in his group. He beat WANG Tzu Wei, his opponent of today, in the first of those matches on Wednesday. That was less than 30 minutes. And he needed 3 games to beat the World Championships silver medalist, Anders Antonsen. That was an hour and 23 minutes. Yesterday, he beat the Asian Games gold medalist, the number 3 seed, Jonathan Christie, in straight games. WANG Tzu Wei, well, he may look calm on the exterior. I'm pretty certain that the butterflies are inside the tummy right now because he makes history as the first men's singles player from Chinese Taipei to enter the semi-finals of the men's singles at the end of year championships. Of course, he played against Kento MOMOTA in Wednesday's match and lost, but he beat Jonathan Christie on Thursday. And then he lost in 3 games, and it was that game he won in yesterday's encounter against the Dane that secured his place in today's semi-final. An hour and 22 minutes against Anders Antonsen, and I cannot help but wonder whether that long match yesterday may take its toll on WANG Tzu Wei for today's semi-final. Well, as we get ready for the countdown to bring the players onto court, I'm Jill Clark, and I can welcome alongside me former Danish head coach, Steen Pedersen. My goodness, what a great lineup we've got for tonight, Steen.
Yeah, some very, very exciting semi-finals we've got ahead of us here. Looking so much forward to see those clashes tonight. There were some good group stage matches. I have a feeling this might be even better in the semi-finals.
Yes, absolutely. That's the thing with group play, isn't it? You always get a second chance. You can lose a match and still progress. You can never do that in knockout competition. Kento MOMOTA, winner of 10 titles already this year. He's hoping to make it 11. He's had an extraordinary year so far. But so too has this man, WANG Tzu Wei, who had so many injury problems last year. Coming back from a serious back injury, he has played many, many tournaments on his quest to qualify for these World Tour finals. Not only has he qualified, he's surpassed expectations by coming through to the semi-final stage this evening. And who knows, he could be in the final tomorrow. It's a tall order because this is the 5th meeting between these two players, and as you can see, Kento MOMOTA has won all previous encounters. The last time, of course, was on Wednesday, when it was just 29 minutes for that 21-10, 21-9 victory for the world #1. So the umpire Wahyana of Indonesia, his first duty, the toss of the coin. So Kento MOMOTA is 25 years of age, born in Kagawa on Shikoku Island, the smallest of the 4 main islands that make up Japan. Enjoying his 64th consecutive week as world #1. Finished the World Tour, not unsurprisingly, as world #1 on the race to Guangzhou. WANG Tzu Wei is a year younger than his opponent at the age of 24, born in Taipei. He's currently number 19 in the world, but almost certainly his ranking will go up after this week in Guangzhou. Has been as high as 10, as you can see, a total of 9 weeks across 3 different spells as world number 10. Well, for WANG Tzu Wei, he came into the tournament as the 8th qualifier. He was one of 3 men's singles players at these World Tour finals, as we look at our court officials, who had not won a Super 500 or above title. Jonathan Christie was one of the others, and of course the man in the final, Anthony Ginting. In fact, Anthony Ginting hasn't won a final all year, despite the fact that he's been in 4 finals this year at World Tour level. Oh, now what's that? He's having a quick word with his coach. There was some sort of a discussion going on. But Steen, I think that Kento MOMOTA has looked extremely impressive this week, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's looked in control, and I don't think he's used his full arsenal yet. He's a little bit under pressure in the match against Anders Antonsen, but then again, not really. It wasn't like you were sitting thinking that it could go any other way than Momota was winning it. So it's going to be a tall order for this man to try and unsettle him.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Kento MOMOTA, Japan. And on my left, WANG Tzu Wei, Chinese Taipei. Kento MOMOTA to serve, double, play.
So the second of the men's singles semi-finals gets underway. The world champion and world #1, the left-handed Kento MOMOTA, against WANG Tzu Wei. Missed it. Now, Steen, before we go any further, I have to say, especially after that first rally, I caught out of the corner of my eye yesterday evening when WANG Tzu Wei was playing against Anders Antonsen. He actually called for the doctor to have a look at his ankle, and I was a little bit concerned about it. I was certainly concerned after that first rally.
Yeah, it was. I noticed it as well, since he had already qualified when he called for that medical timeout, so to speak, and the only thing that could prevent him was if he didn't finish his match.
Yeah.
So.
Because if you don't finish your match, then all your matches in the group are null and void. Oh, that's delightful.
Service over to all.
Missed it. So Steen, right at the start of this, we were looking at Kento Momota's career win-loss record. His year win-loss record is that he has played, up until today, 71 matches, and he's only lost 6. I think we can safely say he's dominant, isn't he?
That's an amazing stat. That's right up there with the stats we used to see for Lee Chong-wei and Lin Dan back in their heydays. One of the things I didn't notice yesterday was it his right foot or his left foot?
I think it was his right.
Because I thought here he's been hesitant a couple of times already towards his forehand side, where he's supposed to break on his right foot. But hopefully he's able to play.
I'm not 100% certain,
No.
but
Service over. 3-4.
so I was saying that this man finished the race to Guangzhou at #1. And he's the 5th different men's singles player in 5 years to end the race to the end of the year championships at #1.
Service over. 5-3.
Oh, she's missed it. It's a good angle steepness-wise. Not a good angle
5.
as far as the sideline was concerned.
Also, the thing that's telling about Momota's dominance this year is that when he won the excellent shot there, by the way. But when he won the Korean Open, the Super 500 tournament, he got 9,200 ranking points, but he didn't need them.
Oh, that's
They were not amongst the 10 best results.
Yeah.
He had 2 Super 500 wins earlier that they counted. That was the Asia Championships and the Singapore Open. But Korea Open is just lying there waiting in case he should need it. So 8 results of above 10,000 ranking points.
That is amazing. Ah, that's a super smash straight down the line.
6-5.
Yeah. It's great to see WANG Tzu Wei back in the big time, isn't it,
Yeah,
Steen,
it is.
after so many injury problems.
Lots of back problems. And,
Yeah.
he was the last qualifier
Yeah.
to book his spot, and Momota the first due to his World Championship. And it's not a big surprise that there's a player from Chinese Taipei in the semi-final, but it's a surprise that it's not Chou Chen, but WANG Tzu Wei.
Yeah, good point. Well, if there is a slight ankle problem, he's going to really struggle against Momota, because Momota always makes his opponents twist and turn.
Yeah, and he's capable of playing his shots from the back line to the net really, really close between the net and the first service line, which makes the opponent, forces the opponent to take an extra step, and that's something that really hurts your footwork. It's tough. You spend a lot of energy taking that little extra step.
Yeah. Well judged.
8-6.
I was listening to the commentators during the first 5 semi-finals, and they seemed to think the drift wasn't so bad today.
Yes, and I tend to agree with them here in the beginning of the match, but
Oh, look at
let's
that.
see.
Perfect net shot.
9-6.
6 of the last 7 points to this man. Oh, that's way in.
Should be the safest corner on the court, where a little sideways drift left to right should keep it in, and drift alongside the court from Momota to WANG Tzu Wei also help keeping it in, but possibly not as severe as previous days. It's Luan-Jin.
Yeah.
And Tsai Xie-Sin,
That's correct.
former mixed doubles and men's doubles player.
Service over 10-8.
Got out of trouble well, WANG Tzu Wei.
Service over 9-10.
Oh, yeah, good follow-up and good backhand kill, placing it well, just slightly across the body towards the right hip of the right-hander. Watch this placement, look at that, that's perfect. So Kento Momota, number one, with a 2-point advantage here at the mid-game interval of the open game. Yosuke Nakanishi, Sato,
20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Would you like to see WANG Tzu Wei taking more initiative in the rallies, Steen? He's been very reactive so far.
Yeah, he has. I definitely would. I think WANG Tzu Wei, his biggest force is he's a great net player.
Yeah.
Got excellent net game. So if the drift is a little less severe today, that is definitely not benefiting WANG Tzu Wei, because he would like to play on a smaller court, so to speak. So maybe that's why he hasn't been able to really stamp his mark. But if we think of the first match in these World Tour finals, where they also played each other, he's much better off here, because he's almost scored as many points as he did in the first game in their match on Wednesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got our first challenge, and I think that Kento Momota might well be proved right on his challenge.
So too.
Oh no, got the line. Well done, line judge.
Challenge unsuccessful, 1 challenge remaining. Service over 10-11.
And one of the things about Momota is that we have to remember that he withdrew from Hong Kong Open due to fatigue. And he's of course had a little rest during the Hong Kong Open, but he's had to play the All Japan Championships, the Japan Nationals, which he won. So it hasn't been that much of a rest. And I think against Antonsen we saw that there were some concentration lapses once in a while. That's well played. What a fantastic defense there. Played more matches than any other men's singles player during the, or perhaps not because they could have participated in more tournaments, but I still think he's played more than the other men's singles players because he goes so far in every tournament.
Exactly. Except the Malaysian Masters, where he lost in the first round.
And Indonesia Open, was it the first or second round? Second round perhaps to Huang Yuxiang.
Yeah, it was. Second round. Oh, that's threaded down the line. That's beautiful.
13-12.
One of the things that also says a lot about Momota is that, I mentioned that I think WANG Tzu Wei has a great net game. Okay, and other players, they might have a fantastic defense. Chen Long's got excellent shot quality, and some have a really good attack when they start to do that. It seems like Momota, he sort of samples all of these traits in himself, because if I'm asking myself, okay, do I think WANG Tzu Wei is better at the net than Momota? Then I have to say, no. When he's playing well and everything's rolling his way, perhaps, but otherwise, Momota is just as strong. So he's right up there in every category of the skill sets for men's singles. Kento Momota, very few weak areas. Oi.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, that hurt his ankle.
Yeah, but seeing him bend down after that rally, I think it was his left ankle.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he's definitely, that was his left ankle he felt then. So in other words, you're saying that Kento Momota is a very complete player and he really doesn't have any weaknesses.
Very complete.
Oh, yes.
And one of the question marks I have regarding WANG Tzu Wei is that if he really gets close here, can he seal the deal? Because he's known to get quite tensed in situations where he's about to achieve something big. We saw it a little bit yesterday against Anders Antonsen, where he had 4 chances in the first game to win the one game that would send him through to the semi-final, and he missed them. Luckily for him, he was quite dominant in the second.
Oh, that's gone wide. That said, though, Steen, I mean, I know that WANG Tzu Wei has twice beaten Chen Long and twice beaten Lin Dan, so he has had big sculpts.
Yeah.
Oh, that is superb.
He's definitely a man that's capable of scoring his own points. WANG Tzu Wei.
16.
Oh, absolutely plumb on the line.
Oi, good deception. Wow. That's not often we see Momota's legs go in the wrong direction. Normally really good at reading his opponent's shots. Lovely deception.
He was lucky that didn't come back because Momota broke the strings of his racket with that final smash.
17-15.
Mind you, it was very good placement of the smash once more, wasn't it? Good body smash.
And it seems like it comes outside in. It starts outside the body of WANG Tzu Wei and goes further and further in towards the middle of his body, and that's really difficult to defend. Basically have to sway the body out of the way.
Yeah, he taps himself on his head because he was going in the wrong direction first, wasn't he?
Yes, but that reaction, I think, is too much. And what I'm suggesting is that I'm not sure that he can control his tension level here. I think he feels he has a good chance of perhaps stealing this game.
Oh. There's the net shot you were talking about.
Yeah, what a bounce back.
Yeah.
16-18.
It's also a sign that some of the things that we read into the games are not always correct, because he might actually have the ability to sort of let the last rally go. Excellent net shot again.
What a good lift, though.
Yeah.
Missed it. I thought he's challenging.
Yeah, it was always going to be a challenge. It was just a matter of whether it was Momota or WANG Tzu Wei who was going to challenge.
I know, it was mighty close.
A lot of WANG Tzu Wei supporters behind us here.
Yeah.
In Changhe Stadium.
Here we go. What does Hawkeye say? Caught the line. Great challenge. So there's just 1 point in it.
17-18.
A second challenge from Momota. If he's wrong, he's got no challenges left. He's hitting with the drift, even if it's a less of a drift than it was earlier in the week. It's still hitting with the wind. So it's either going to be 18 all or 19-17. What a crucial stage. Here we go. Yeah, good challenge.
Correction A. Service over 19-17. Play.
Oh, that's pushed long.
It's definitely
game point 17.
less drift than the previous days, and that puzzles me a little bit, because what would have been done to do that. More careful with closing doors.
Yeah. It's game point opportunities. Oh my goodness. Must have changed his mind, surely. Very, very loose. Final shot from Wang Tzu Wei, giving really a gifted opportunity. Look at that. He's popping it up for Kento Momota to play the winner. So 21-17, opening game in 22 minutes. I have a theory on the drift while we're in the coaching break here, Steve. We're down to one court today.
Exactly.
And I think that the door that allowed the players onto the court number 2 has probably been shut off. Yeah. And that's making a little bit of a difference.
Yeah. Big difference.
Yeah.
Much better stadium today.
Yeah.
In terms of playing conditions.
So Kento Momota, former champion, one game to the good and one game away from reaching a third final at the end of season championships. Because not only did he win in 2015, was also in the final last year when he lost to Shi Uchi in 2 straight games.
Second game. Double play.
Oh, that is terrific.
Service over. 1 love.
Wonderful angle. The lift was good. It was very deep.
Because I was watching his feet, Wang Tzu Wei's feet, and they were in the tram lines. So that's very encouraging for Wang that he can kill it on Momota from the back line.
No, it's gone long.
Yeah, so there's still some drift. It's a big stadium, and it's impossible to totally eliminate the drift. I think will always be spectators moving and entering and leaving through the doors of the stadium here.
He's challenging.
I think it might have been in.
Wang Tzu Wei challengers call out.
Well, if it is in, it is an absolutely magical shot. Playing a cross-court net shot when Momota is standing at the net. And if it's in, it's a winner. So let's see. Is it? No, it wasn't.
Challenge successful, 1 challenge remaining. 2, 1. Play.
Upped his pace of movement in that rally, Momota.
Yeah, and I think also we've seen him attack a little bit more today. Not a lot, but still more than we've seen him attack during the week, where he's mostly been satisfied playing from a more patient perspective. The pace definitely has gone up.
Yeah.
4-1.
That's where a lot of players commit some small errors in practice. They feel they have good shot quality, but the question is also, at what pace do you have that shot quality? What if it goes up? Can you maintain the same shot quality? Can you maintain the same different possibilities, variation in your shots? Can you hit all the corners on the court? That's what they should ask themselves.
Oh. I think WANG Tzu Wei actually forgot that his opponent was a lefty.
5-1.
Attempted kill right onto the racket of Momota.
And it's a great start to this second game by Momota, because now there's a good chance that if it continues like this for 2-3 more rallies, then WANG Tzu Wei will sort of like come to terms with his participation here and say, okay, I lost to Momota in the semi-final.
Yeah.
You can do that, then sort of start being satisfied about how it's gone until now, and perhaps forget a little bit about challenging for the win here. I know it must sound really odd, but I've seen it so many times that you feel that it's impossible, that you can't do anything about your opponent. We've seen it on numerous occasions with Lin Dan and Lee Chong-wei, and also Chen Long.
Oh my goodness.
A good couple of points there for Wang. You can see that he's trying to get the game going at the net.
There's that good net shot you were talking about, Steen. And that it wasn't even really tumbling, that one. It was just very close to the net.
And that's the thing. It doesn't necessarily need to tumble. Here we see it just as it... Oh, that was actually not really a good shot, but it was spinning awkwardly far away from the net. But it's also a priority to get it to quickly dive below the top of the tape level.
Yeah. 7-4.
That's obviously, if you spin a little upwards, that's really risky, because the shuttle is longer time in the air, gives the opponent better time to react. So basically, don't want to play it more than just a tiny, tiny little bit upwards. Short.
8-4.
I think he was so worried about hitting long, wasn't he? Hitting with the drift that overcompensated. So obviously, Steen, this man is looking to reach a consecutive finals. Momota, because he was beaten in the final last year. 3 men's singles players have reached 2 or more consecutive finals at the end of year championships. Can you name them?
Chong Wei is probably a good bit.
He was in 3 consecutive, 2008 to 2010.
8-4.
The thing is that the Chinese players didn't participate a lot in the beginning of these year-end finales.
They didn't participate in 2008 and
No.
2009, the first two.
I'll go with Peter Gade.
Nope.
No, but he's been in a couple, but probably not consecutive. Who do we have?
Oh, that's a lovely shot. I'll put you out of your misery. It was a Dane. 3 consecutive, Victor Axelsen.
That's right.
And Chen Long was in 2 consecutive, 2011 and 12, won 1 and lost 1. Oh, well, he was looking one way, swaying his body one way and trying to hit the shuttle the other, Momota.
6, 8.
It was called the jaw deception. That's well played.
Good rally. Oh,
Oi,
my
oi,
goodness.
oi, oi.
Oh, sensational. Well, there was a backhand early on in that rally from WANG Tzu Wei that was out of this world. Longest rally so far.
Here it is.
Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. That cross-court net shot wasn't too shabby either, was it? Couldn't do it a third time.
I was just about to say that he'd weathered the storm nicely from when Momota sort of kicked it up a gear, still in it at 8-6.
Yeah.
I think perhaps this long rally might do some damage to WANG Tzu Wei.
Bit of an anticlimax after that previous terrific rally. Often happens though. Yeah, I think you're right. I think WANG Tzu Wei looked rather tired. He hardly had, there weren't many shots in the rally, but he looked a little tired going forward. The backhand and then...
The backhand shot had no quality at all.
No.
Service over 8, 10.
Well, he's fighting all the way, isn't he, WANG Tzu Wei? You've got to admire him for his attitude today so far.
Totally, totally. And, thinking about the first match they played Wednesday, he's almost doing 100% better here.
Yeah.
It's gone long.
Yeah. So, as with the opening game, there's a 2-point advantage to Kento Momota at the mid-game interval. Well, when you consider WANG Tzu Wei was 1-6 down
Yeah.
at the start of the second game. He's done remarkably well.
8-5 since then.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's still a long, long way to go. The first time to win this game, then the third game. And even though Momota might play a lot of tournaments, long tournaments during the season, then if I should pick one player who's got the best stamina, I would pick Momota. So the other players can ask themselves, why is it them that we're picking? I mean, for instance, Axelsen or Christie, why are you not the ones that people are considering to have the best stamina? Why is it Momota? You've got to change that. That's a good basic self-confidence to have, saying, okay, I can at least outrun everybody.
Yeah.
So they have to play me down, so to speak, if they want to win.
Yeah. Good point.
The only thing, the only time I've seen a player wear Momota down was in Hong Kong Open last year when Sun Won Ho did it. But he was going down fighting to a Sun Won Ho who was playing very well and wasn't at all as fatigued as Momota. I think he's trying to raise the pace again here from
Momota.
the interval. Yeah.
Did well to adjust to that net cord.
He would like to finish this in straight games, I think.
Definitely. Good net shot. This is another grueling rally. He's pushed it long.
13-9.
Longest rally so far.
Who was it Momota was playing yesterday? We saw his
Momota played
match.
Jonathan Christie.
Yeah, that's also where we noticed that when he raises the pace, he actually commits fewer errors. The errors normally comes in when he's playing at a low pace, Kento Momota.
Yeah. Well, I said a little earlier, Steen, that I wondered whether the hour and 22 minutes on court against Anders Antonsen, whether that was going to take its toll on WANG Tzu Wei. So, given your theory that this is a long way, he's still got to come back and he's got to win this game and then he's got to play a third game.
Yeah.
And when you think that Anthony Ginting has already played his match, it was only 41 minutes.
Exactly, he's got 3-4 hours head start on the winner of this match here.
Yep. Three or 4 hour extra recovery time.
It's a powerful wave our linesman on that back line has got. That's a potential rowing champion later on in life, I think. Good there wasn't any photographers nearby there. They would have been knocked out.
Get ready.
Short.
Oh, first service error of this match.
Service over. 11-14.
Oh, that's well left. That's very well judged.
Service over. 15-11.
That's another one gone wide. Yeah, look at the body language of WANG Tzu Wei. Not happy with himself. Understandably. Yeah, well worked. This, I think, seen as the decisive move.
I think so too.
Yeah, yeah. There's just no more spring in those legs of WANG Tzu Wei.
11.
Yeah, he's a tired, tired man. Three points away, Kento Momota, from a third final here at the end of year championships.
Oi.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, a spent force. But Steen, he should be mighty proud of his performance this week.
He definitely should. And it's probably something that gives him even more motivation. He definitely needs the ranking points. He's currently ranked 19 or something on the world ranking and needs to get into top 16 to go to Tokyo.
Yes, because it's pretty certain, barring any sort of catastrophe, that Cho Tien-chen, who's the current world number 2, will go to Tokyo. To get 2 players in, you need to both be in the top 16 of the singles. So match point opportunities for Kento Momota. 9 of them, to be precise. Oh my goodness. He's going to go out in style. Oh, it's just wide.
I think Momota refrains from taking a challenge. I think he might have won it. I think he might have touched the line, but I think he wants to win it in style.
Yeah.
And what a mouth-watering final that awaits tomorrow against Ginting. If Ginting's form is anything to judge by the matches that he's played against Chen Long.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how many times have we seen terrific matches between Kento Momota and Anthony Ginting?
Yeah, it's a dream final the way I see it.
Yeah.
And if you should pick one player to try and beat Momota, I would pick Ginting with the skill set that he has.
And his speed about the court. But we shouldn't start thinking about that until this match is officially over.
Oh, I don't want to think about it. Because I don't think WANG Tzu Wei is making a comeback here.
No, nor
eight
do
game
I.
points or match points.
No.
I don't think he's...
I don't think he's got the legs to do it.
No.
I think his legs are too tired.
Wait.
Out.
Let's...
Second time of asking, and Kento Momota closes out the match, and tomorrow will contest a second consecutive final at the end of season championships, the third final in total, having won the title 4 years ago. 21-17, 21-12, the margin of his victory. 47 minutes in total. And we do indeed have a dream men's singles final tomorrow, because it will be Kento MOMOTA. There's confirmation of the scoreline. 21-17, 21-12 and 47 minutes. It will be MOMOTA against Anthony Ginting. But this is a week I'm sure that WANG Tzu Wei will remember for a long, long time. And let's hope that it's a catalyst to achieving so much more. So as they take leave of centre stage, we can look forward to our next semi-final, which is women's doubles, and it's the current world number ones, Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan, up against last year's beaten finalists, Li So-hee and Shin Xiang-chan. So welcome back to Guangzhou. Stunning view.